Breaker, breaker into the black. This is Long Haul Preacher, and I ain't going back. I'm a long haul preacher, and I'm just passing through with a few words of wisdom while we're taking in the view. Howdy folks, Long Haul here with an apology. Yes, I need to apologize to y'all because apparently, well, there was something a friend told me just this week, straight to my face. He said, "Aren't you just selling large ships for Star Citizen with your podcasts?" Now, I hadn't really thought about it before, but from his perspective, yeah, he's kind of right. So I wanted to dedicate this show to what I forecast based on, in large part, the demonstration Chris Roberts gave a while back about the economy of Star Citizen and why, even for someone looking to get into it with his or her family, the $45 startup pack of the Aurora or Mustang can do just fine until you can afford in-game to do better for the entire family. And I will also have my thoughts on which one is better, the Aurora MR or the Mustang Alpha, how they can be used, why, and to get you all started with your families. So I want to be able to show you this. First, let's start with, as a person going into the game, let's start off with the absolute beginning, setting up an account. So let's start from the very beginning. When you get to the Star Citizen webpage, which is robertsspaceindustries.com, you're going to have a whole bunch of information in front of you. We want to just get started, so let's go ahead and get started with getting started. There's the normal sales stuff. Okay, you're going to have a video, you're going to have what Star Citizen is about, what you can experience in Star Citizen at this moment, yada, 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 yada. A whole bunch of information here. But what we're interested in is the starter packs down in the bottom, because those are the two starter packs that are the lowest price, $45 each, unless you happen to get them on sale. Now, I recommend going ahead and just getting them. Don't wait for a sale. You never know when it's going to happen. You have one of two choices. You have the Aurora MR or the Mustang Alpha. They are both basically the same packages. They both have the self-land hangar, which is the cheapest hangar around. There are more expensive hangars, but you don't need to have more expensive hangars. You do not. If you wanted one, you could always get it in-game later on. So don't worry about it. It also comes with the extra money called the UEC, United Earth Credit, which we'll talk about later. And it also comes with, of course, the ability to download the game itself, which is the whole purpose of having a $45 game package to begin with. It's kind of like buying a software package off the shelf. So other than that, they're pretty much all the same. The Mustang Alpha, of course, will be different than the Aurora MR. It's a different ship. It's made by a different company. And this is the same for all ships in the entire Star Citizen universe. The companies make a difference. The company's focus makes a difference. They put personality into this. So keep that in mind when trying to choose between the two. There is one other significant difference that you should be aware of amongst all of the game starter packages. Now, you can pay another $15. There is a Squadron 42 additional package that you could add to it. You can also get this later for another $45, but why bother? It's a single-person game, and it is in the Star Citizen universe using the Star Citizen engine. The reason you want to do it, if at all, is because you want to become a citizen. This is one of the ways that are allowed for you to become a Star Citizen in Star Citizen universe. It does cost $15 more to do this if you just get it all as a big package. And later on, we'll have ramifications with regards to what you can do in game, because citizens will have perks. It's simple as that. It's part of the lore of the universe. And so that is something to consider. Okay, let's take a look at a Mustang really quick. Now, the Mustang is quite the. I like it a lot. I mean, it has this nice, very wide view in the front. It almost makes you feel like you're on a motorcycle. Notice though, it only has 10 cargo units of storage space. This will come in good knowledge later, because this is built for speed. It is built for agility. Some of the gamers have said that it is a paper tiger. It has teeth, but it crumples under pressure. So this is for a flyer. This is a pilot's ship. If you don't want to be dodging bullets, this is not the ship for you. If you want to be taking bullets on armor, you want another ship. It's simple as that. This is made for dogfighting. So you're dodging. You're doing a lot of heavy-duty flying, as well as being able to fire under fire. Otherwise, between the Aurora and the Mustang series, there really isn't that much of a difference. There is, however, differences between the different Mustangs. For example, my two favorites, one of them is the Mustang Beta. It comes with a jump engine. It's considered an Explorer, but what's really funny about it is it's also considered what they have termed a touring vessel. This means it not only has a bed, it also has this little microwave. It's really kind of cute. It's kind of like having a camper shell on the back of your Mustang. I don't know if the other Mustangs have it, but I found it really kind of cute. It kind of brings me back to, oh yeah, let's just camp anywhere. We don't need no motel, you know. And you do, by the way, you need a bed in your ship if you intend to log off in your ship. They've made that very clear. You need a bed. You need one bed per person, one bed per NPC even, in order to log off and your ship disappears, rather than log off and your ship sits around while it becomes a target. Now then, going back and looking at the Aurora, it does have 13 cargo units, which means it has more cargo units. It is not nearly as fast, not nearly as agile as the Mustang. But they are loaded out fairly similar. The weapons are kind of similar. The MR is a tiny bit more long in the tooth for getting into a fight. But then it also has a tiny bit more armor, a tiny bit more shield. These are things to consider. So if you're not that good of a flyer, you probably want the Aurora. If you are that good of a flyer, you want the Mustang. Not just because it's more fun, but because it will be very telling as to whether or not you can survive being attacked between the two. Needless to say, I split the Mustangs and the Auroras down between either the fighter or the cargo hauler. And if you put a whole bunch of them, like your whole family together, in that, you're going to find that comes in handy of knowing. That's not to say that you couldn't upgrade these, or either the Aurora or the Mustang, to bigger and better things. Toward the Mustang is you're going to be upgrading more in the way of weapons, in the way of power plant and engines. For the Aurora, really, the upgrades come with regards to weapons, sure, but with regards to that cargo handling, as most of them are 13, there is one, the CL, that actually has 23 cargo units. And that's really important to a person who wants to be a cargo handler. But you don't need to buy it right away. That should be underscored. You do not need to buy this right away. You can buy it in-game after this goes live. That's one of the big things that they want to emphasize. Anything that you see outside of the game, you can buy in the game. So you should only have to pay $45. Eventually, you can save up enough to buy even an $890 jump. Good luck with that, and good luck with paying for the insurance on it. It's kind of like paying for the insurance on a Corvette, I'm sure, if not a fleet of Corvettes. But that's something to know. You can upgrade the Aurora to a 23 cargo unit hauler, which is not dang bad. That gets you up there in some of the larger cargo haulers. So keep that in mind. Do not be depressed that you're stuck with this itsy bitsy little fly on the wall compared to everyone else's humongous ships, because you'll be able to still do things that they can't. For example, you'll be able to fly around them without getting hit by them half the time because you're simply that much faster, that much more agile. Do not worry about it. Now, as I was saying, even with the Auroras, there are separate ones. There is an Explorer class that has the jump engine already built onto it. You can always add it later. You don't need to do that right away. With the Mustang class, there is the Gamma and the Omega, which are two racing ships specifically. They have 3 engines instead of 2 on the back to really push you fast. Those are all things to consider, every single one of them. There's even one called the Legionnaire for the Auroras that is just jam-packed with weapons. It's meant to blow things up. Keep it all in mind. Okay, let's go back to the beginning, getting started. Okay, so we have the 2 packs. We're going to select one and run you through. And this, again, is if you never have gotten an invite with a referral code, this is the way you do it manually. So we're going to say, okay, yeah, the Aurora MR, that sounds like good to me. We're going to buy that. It's a nice solid package. Keep in mind, RSI is considered the general of the generals. So you can't go wrong with RSI either. Now, you notice it's immediately asks you to sign in. We're not going to sign in, of course. We're going to enroll because we're brand new to this, right? Now, enrolling means that you're going to have a login. So that's the first thing we're going to fill in is your login ID. This is only seen. Okay, let me underscore this. Only seen in the login. So don't worry about how good it looks. Just put in the login. Password, something along the same lines. But you notice that there's these 4 bars in the bottom. You want to fill all 4 of them in. In this day and age of people hacking other accounts, you want this thing hack-proof. You want it all the way to 4 bars. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can either have a whole bunch of different letters, numbers, symbols, or you can do what I do, which I just love. Because if you have this favorite phrase or sentence or something, put that in there. Make it as long as you want. Guess what? There's no hacker out there with any program that can hack that. Because random chance, it takes forever past that guy's lifetime to crack that code. So go ahead and make this humongously long password. That's just fine. Okay, so it will ask for your email address. You will need to put it in. Do not put a fake one in there because it needs to be able to verify that you do have an email address. So use a real one. It also asks for your birth date. Remember that it's a 13 and up game. If you have someone that you want to get in that's less than that, it's a don't ask, don't tell policy. You just need to make sure that their birth date matches the fact that they are, quote, 13 and over, unquote. This is literally what I've been told by CIG, by the way. So just make sure that you are 13 and over. Put that in there. You can also now put a handle and a community handle in there. The difference being, community handle is what's seen in the forums and other communication devices. Handle is basically what people see you as, who you are. So use that. Here we go, referral code. Why do you want a referral code? The reason you want a referral code is because you get, again, 5,000 more UEC. You need 5,000 more credits. Okay, it's equal to $5 currently. And in-game, as I said, it's used to buy things. So you use it to buy ships, you use it to buy weapons, you use it to buy a whole bunch of different things. Don't ignore the fact that you can use a referral code. Now, I've got a referral code for my daughter, Freya. She's trying to get 10 people signed in before August in order to get her pink Space Kitty Dragonfly. So go ahead and use that one. That's fine. Oh, yes. And, of course, on the bottom, it's do not be a robot. Right? So find something that you can actually read and put it in there, and that way they know that you're not a robot. Now, here's where I give you the small warning. It is not considered cheating necessarily by CIG. As long as you have money and you have the email account, that's fine. But there's a lot of people who have created more than one account using $45 per over and over again in order to use their referrals over and over again in order to gain from that, because there are a lot of perks that you get from using your referral code, getting people to use your referral code, including weapons, including ships. Okay, I'll be honest. It's a tempting thing, but I can't imagine getting 10, let alone 100, 1,000. But that's what they're looking for. So that's something to keep in mind. Just do what you like. I won't ask, you won't tell. Sounds good? All right. Now, for those of you who are interested in exactly what in the world these credits are going to be good for, there is something on the website that you can look at called Voyager Direct. Now, it refers to a series of stores that are going to be in-game that you can actually go to. And these stores have a lot to offer. They have decorations for your hangar, they have weapons, and they have parts, which basically means you can buy anything from upgraded weaponry in the way of ballistics, from missiles to guns, energy weapons, lasers. You can get better coolers, better power plants, better shields. You can also get, of course, your everyday decorations for your hangar. So you can get posters, you can get new paint jobs for your little around the hangar rover guy. You can get a fish. You can get a fish tank. All kinds of stuff. Anything that you can get outside of the game right now, expect to be able to get inside the game eventually, is what it boils down to. This is the whole purpose of having a career. This is the whole purpose of making money in the game, is because in the end, they don't expect anyone to buy anything other than the $45 startup pack. In fact, that's literally what Chris Roberts wants the website boiled down to, is just a couple of links to startup packs and some communication, maybe a lot of information about the game, and that's it. You maybe you can get credits by way of paying extra cash. Maybe. He would prefer that you guys just work your butt off in the game. That's what he really wants, because working your butt off in the game makes the game move forward, the game itself, because it is a perpetual universe. Without people actually working it, the universe kind of stutters and stalls on NPCs. Everything is based on NPCs. So consider this, that this is another reason why to use a referral code. 5,000 credits, all for just putting in somebody's code. Remember Freya's. I'm going to keep posting this over and over again throughout this cast. Now let's get into the rest of the personal economy. When you first wake up in game, you'll be at some port or another. They are working it out so that everyone will be at the same port when you first start out. It still has yet to be fleshed out totally, but basically you will be in a room with a closet. You should get out your pressure suit and put it on. And then you get down to the port and get your ship, but then what? Well, you check your mobi-glass for a job offer. Jobs will depend on the jobs closest to you, that is in the port, followed by those on planet, and so on out. There will eventually be a way to sort these jobs to find exactly what you were looking for, I'm pretty certain. As a new small fry with a family, there are 3 things you need to know. First is how to get the family together. As I said, they're working it out so that you should all be, at least the starter people, starting off in the same port. So you should be able to log in and all be in the same place at the same time. So far, there's nothing that is in the way of doing this other than figuring out some server snafus so that they don't have to do instances, which they really don't like and they really don't want. Second is, what ships did your family get? Now, if everyone chooses their own ship, you can pretty much bet that at least one person is going to be the outlier, minimum. So do you have Auroras? Do you have Mustangs? Do you have a mix? Figure that out. That'll determine what jobs you want to pick up. Third, you should be as one team. Now, currently there is no way to do that, but they are working on it. Obviously, it works out better for, especially if you get a larger job that is going to take more than one ship, to be able to organize in such a way that everyone can communicate easily and efficiently. Even as an organization, this will be necessary. So this is all in development. You should be able to share jobs and equipment. Now, there's a lot more reasons to have a large convoy of small ships as opposed to one large ship. There really is. Let's go back to Chris Roberts' economy idea. Let's say the pirate raid was a single pirate ship, say a medium-sized pirate ship, against a much smaller ship, say an Aurora, a single Aurora. Wouldn't that raid have been a little different if, say, instead of one small Aurora, there were four, and they helped out each other? Or even two whole convoys, so say two families of four each in their ships. That would have turned out a lot different. Instead of being blown out, the pirate ship probably would have been overpowered and the convoy would have continued. You might have lost a ship, maybe even two, but it would have turned out quite a bit different. Then there is, again, look at what the ships are available. Now, if you're talking about nothing but Auroras, doing nothing but cargo runs, that's literally all you will do. You probably should have somebody escorting you. It's just smart. It's not necessary. You are well armed with the MRs. You should be able to protect each other, but let's face facts. The Mustangs are better if you have the right pilot. So let's say if you have nothing but Mustangs, what will you do? That is where you will take your Mustangs and you'll go looking for a larger cargo run that is in need of some security, probably in somewhat safe space, but you always want some kind of security because you just don't know what space is going to have. Space is unpredictable. So you are paid basically for a gravy run. Either way, because the Aurora is not likely to take on runs that are going to take you into known enemy space, and the Mustang runs are also not going to take you into places where you are necessarily going to be running into huge fleets or anything like that. You're just going to be along for the ride. Now, there was even a suggestion by the developers of the Caterpillar as a mini carrier with Dragonflies, space cycles flying out of them in a pirate raid. So don't think that the Mustangs and Auroras don't have any strength to them if you do get in a fight. The Dragonflies, for example, don't have much shielding at all, even compared to the Mustangs or Auroras, but they do have the agility and can dodge as defense and compared to larger ships. Same with the Mustangs, and to a lesser extent, the Auroras. Which brings me to the bottom line with regards to the larger ships I've been talking about. You can earn your way to those larger family-sized ships. My only hesitation in saying it at all is that it would be not unlike most other games out there, like EVE or Star Trek Online, flying around in individual ships with limited interaction with each other. What makes Star Citizen different is that your family is working towards a goal of playing more and more as a team instead of remaining the same team throughout the game. It gives your family room to grow and to develop in a reality as much as in the game. So don't back away just because you think I'm just saying. You should go ahead and get into yet another solo player, massive online role-playing game experience. I see potential here. And that is in very, very few other places. And I hope you do as well. So let's recap on the Mustangs and Auroras. I just want to make sure this is 100% clear. The Aurora MR is a strong starter cargo hauler, can be upgraded to a bigger cargo hauler later, even before changing ships entirely. Some reviewers have said that the Aurora holds up better in a firefight with slightly stronger hull and shields as well, but the hauler-minded person in myself, I would use it for hauling instead of security contracts. Those reviewers I've noticed have a tendency to fly straight towards the target rather than dodging while they're firing. So they all need the help they can get in a dogfight anyway. You will eventually want a jump drive if it does not have one in stock, since it does not have one in stock, I should say. There are two things that make me really chomp at the bit for the Mustang Alpha, and they are the name alone. I love Mustangs, what can I say? And the visibility in the cabin. Oh, man, there's nothing like it, I'll tell you. Unlike the Aurora, you end up in a cockpit that makes you feel more like you're sitting out there in space. And boy, I like that. As I mentioned earlier, more agile. It has a turret so that you don't have to face directly at the target necessarily to be able to hit it. Lock on and fire. Strafing is highly recommended with a Mustang to avoid enemy fire. But it isn't the largest cargo capacity, nor does it have any signs of ever being able to upgrade that cargo capacity. So don't count on it. Just don't. It's basically a fighter. You might want to upgrade to another fighter. Family of 3 recommendation for my view of the family-friendly, versatile play is the Aurora MR all around. Convoy to new adventures, one cargo run at a time. There will eventually be other ways to make money in the game, but for now, that is my recommendation based only on the cheapest of the game packages. As for all those people who fear that everyone buying huge capital ships will just blow you all away and you're just nothing but a fly on the wall, well, have you ever tried to hit a mosquito with a fly swatter? Most of the time you miss. I mean, if they're bunched together, you might get 2 or 3, but it's pretty hard to hit just one. So don't worry about those huge capital ships. You can probably do more damage to them than they can to you. Well, that's all for now, folks, and I am sorry to say that I will be slowing down for the next few weeks. I am now taking 2 classes and will be in Phoenix, in fact, on the 3rd week of June for a class as well. Sorry, I will not be able to take a break to say howdy to anybody down there, but I do appreciate the thought. Don't forget to like and comment on Patreon or YouTube if you are so inclined. Subscribe or become a patron as well in the 2017 race that is currently stalled between Patreon and YouTube. Please don't forget to use Freya's referral code so that you can get that cute little pink Space Kitty Dragonfly. I may be getting ahead of myself, but I truly think that you'll love to fly it if her poor rocking horses are any clue. And do send a howdy to me on the webpage, longhaulpreacher.space. If you would like to combine convoys once we get into 3.0, I'm looking forward to it. And I will have larger cargo ships to use as well as anything else CIG throws at me until the ships I actually ordered come through. Thanks for joining me for this edition. I'm deeply sorry if I ever sounded like that you had to pay more than $45 per person to play as a family. And I also hope to see you out on those space highways soon in a family convoy. Take care, y'all, and God bless. Okay, everyone. Let's let AutoNav drift and let's get some shut-eye between points here. Isn't so bad. Just turn down the grav smidge and it's about as comfortable as the Navy barracks. And don't worry, hon. We'll be in port tomorrow. I promise. Good night, everyone. Get a good rest.